Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. You know what? That's all right with me. I'm again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely, lovely early morning in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I just decided to get up and just do this video because it's on me to do just that. And I want to complete this video. I had to take the other video down because I saw I went over 4 in some odd hours. And that's just not me. I normally don't even want to go past 3. So I decided to take that video down, but I will be redoing that video. But this video I wanted to put up because this is the video I was speaking of, and I want to go through it, and I'm gonna go through it kind of fast, but I want you to really, really kind of get what is being said here. Okay. The title of this video is going to be The Power and Authority of a Man. The power and the authority of a man. And when I'm done, it's going to pretty much allow individual who has the backpack to also put this in your backpack because it's going to show you how that which was in the dark shall come to the light in the last days, because people really don't think there's no light that's springing up in these last days. Not only that, he said that knowledge shall increase. That knowledge is spiritual knowledge, shall increase. People think they didn't heard it all and have not. I believe the knowledge that increased is really booming. I think the light is shining on much darkness, and it's bringing light to understanding that many have not had throughout their living, and their parents have not. He said they perish due to lack of knowledge because of the form of rejecting knowledge. So that also show you that people come and go, not knowing and having knowledge of the truth. Be in church 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years and come and go and still didn't have knowledge. Ever learning, ever learning, never coming to the knowledge. Because this knowledge that he's speaking of is spiritual knowledge. That's why they're not coming to the truth, because they trust in the flesh of men and women who call themselves pastors and leaders. They're putting so much trust and assurance into them to where they never thought that even in this instructions and direction book, it tells you to put your trust in no man. That means a woman as well. Trust in the only one that holds the keys to the kingdom, who can come and teach you from the inside out, not from the outside. It's when you can trust him that believes in entering in and teaching you from that level. This topic is the power of the authority, the power and the authority of the man. Okay, because I want you all to understand, based on what I'm going to give you, to show you how out of order they have been since the beginning of time. And I'm going to show you how heavens, the throne in which Yah sits and reside, has orchestrated them to do more than they have ever done. And they have put the baton down. They didn't hand it over to their sons so their sons can hand it over to their sons, and on and on. Okay? They took their crown off. The crown was given to them as the first one created, as the first man. That was a crown, but they took that off as well. You see, and they're living, they're living out their time without ever understanding. You never live out your purpose from the kingdom. You just live out your time with no purpose, not even understanding your purpose. And I have explained it to you all over and over and over. And this is kind of horrible to just sit here, and I'm already getting chills to sit here and realize that if they knew their purpose, how is it for thousands of years they got away from it? It's because of the order they're in. When their forefathers got out of order, they got out of order along with their forefathers, and they took it all the way up to the 2024. And this is what I was explaining to you. This book cannot be the words. It cannot be the word. It is the words. Because I learned something last week when I didn't have to, I went into the book of Enoch. I learned something. Not only in this book do they interpret it all the things wrong, but even in the book of Enoch, it is interpreted 80% incorrect. So in me, I say, well, what is it they missing? The Ruach, the true teacher. That's why the gate is so narrow. And they're not going to find it. They're not going to find the way to life because the gate is narrow for a reason. So Sister Deborah wants to give a power punch to many of you all out there, and they feel that a woman can't teach you. I want to explain to you all. These men didn't mess y'all up from the floor to where since men been on the earth, they have not taken the position and the power nor the authority that was given to them from the beginning. They took on what another man showed them and told them. They never took on their righteous place as men. Okay, so I'm going to show you where, even to this point of what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you how out of order you are to think a woman should submit to you when you have not submitted yourself to the position that the Father had called you from or called you to from the throne. Okay, so I want to start here, and I want to start with Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 4. And they have been getting away with it for so long. Now, today, a woman not supposed to speak. Oh, you bashing. Oh, you always got negative to say about. Let me tell you something. One thing about truth and righteous. One thing about truth and righteous. It's not male nor female. Okay? When we tell y'all something else that these men didn't teach y'all, when the Ruach of the Most High God, when the Ruach come, he did not say he was coming for males. This is why you cannot believe and take in what you have believed all these years. Start unpacking yourself, getting rid of all that. Throw all that trash away out of you. Just think now. He is a spirit, and when he come to abide in you to teach you all things, a lot of them call him the Holy Spirit. A lot of them call him the Holy Ghost. He is the Ruach of the Creator, which is the Spirit of the Creator. When he come up and abide within you, do you think he want to check and see if you male or female? So if he's greater in me than he is in the world, is not he greater than man? So why is it that he can't come in me and reside in me as he do a male and lead him like he would lead me? See, that's what we fail to realize. We're supposed to seek ye the kingdom first, okay, and not man, to justify and clarify, identify who we are as men and what we should be doing and how we should be doing. It's already in you. Let me show you what I mean. In Romans chapter, and this blew my mind when I read it. I said, well, Father, you got all the thing about it. When I read this, I said, wait a minute. This creator, he got all his T's and his I's dotted. It blew my mind to see that he had all this here dotted. Listen to this. I want to just show you all out there how he has already instilled it in our men. Okay, listen to this. in Romans chapter 1, verse 18. In Romans chapter 1, verse 18. For the wrath of Yah is revealed from heavens against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men. Men. Of men. Now hear me. That's not the only part. Watch what he says. Who hold the unrighteousness, who hold the truth in unrighteousness. So when I'm sitting here trying to do a video to convince men that the position that they will call from the kingdom, man has how would I say, enticed them to believe it's A to this to B to C to D. They've been lying to you all. Here in Romans chapter 1, he said the men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. He's talking about the men. They hold the truth in unrighteousness. That's what I'm trying to explain to you all. Unpack all that trash. Because Yah is not going to reside in you. He ain't going to want to go nowhere near you when you have taken on the lie, when the truth you are holding in unrighteousness. Now, hear what it says. Romans chapter 1 and 19. We just did Romans chapter 1 and 18. Now, Romans chapter 1, we still in 1, verse 19. Because that which may be known of Yah is manifested in them. For he has shown it unto them. Verse 20. For the visible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, men, being understood by the things that are made, even the eternal power and Godhead, so that they are not without excuse. You're not going to be going to the throne thinking you got an excuse like you've been using on the earth to take on your righteous position as a man. You've been using that excuse. And Yah wants you to know you've been using it unrighteously, knowing truth. But this is the problem which you have with Judah today. They want the lie out of the mouth of men. They want woman silent. And the ruach of the Creator didn't tell you, I'm coming to the spirit of man and not to the spirit of woman. He said, I'm going to pour out my spirit upon your sons and your daughters. What is that you don't understand? So man has taught you a woman is to keep silent. Because if she speaks, she's exalting herself over them. Truth and righteous always going to be exalted over a man. Always. Because when you take truth and you take righteous and put them under the feet of a man, then that's where you need to remain, under that man's feet. This is why so many Judah men are becoming women in their action, their ways. Are they women? No. But in their mental state of mind, they are. And those who got wives and got children, they have turned away from wives and children to go to be and role play as a man or a man to a man. And they have included all of this to be righteous. So how can we look at the world and tell the world what they doing unrighteous? And God is sitting here telling men, you have held the truth in unrighteousness. He's talking to you men. And then he says, and everything was already manifested in you. Why, Father? Why? Why would you tell these men that it was manifested in them? He trusted you men with all life. With not life, but all living. All human beings came out of your womb. He trusted them in you. He gave you the seeds in your womb. That's why you have the power and the authority of the man. It wasn't about being puff, chest out, tough, bad. I can shoot a gun fast. I can shoot. I can kill. I can fight. I can boast. I can have pride. I'm a narcissist. I'm a, this here. This is what a man is. Oh, they mess y'all up way from the floor up. And one thing I can say to the Most High, thank you, because your will allowed it. Your will allowed them to not reach where they should be. Why? Because y'all gonna stand before the judgment seat. And he's going to ask you, didn't I trusted you with living. Where did they go? What happened? When they came forth, what did you do? Did you take care of them? Did you feed them? Did you train them up in righteous? Did you do this? Did you do that? They ain't going to be able to say, yes, I did. You're not men. I want to explain to you, you're not going to be able to stand before the judgment seat of the Most High God. And he said, well done, my faithful servant. You think you're really going to pull up like that? You're not going to. And this is what I'm trying to explain to you all. That the men did not teach you. You ran away. Your father ran away from you and didn't want to teach you. You get around your friends and your other men, they don't want to teach you. Teaching you means telling you the truth. Let's go back there again. Romans chapter 1 and verse 18, 19, 20, and 21. Listen, hear what he's saying, that you already had it in you. It's already manifested in them. See, y'all didn't even, you don't even know that y'all had trusted men with living, with all the living on the earth, and they still haven't figured it out. It wasn't a woman put you out. It wasn't a woman getting welfare. It was a woman feeding the things, not the things, the children in which Yah had trusted you to feed, you to house, you to put a roof over. That's why they got every real good excuse. But let's see what the Most High Yah says about it as Paul break that thing up and break that thing down. Romans chapter 1, verse 18. For the wrath of Yah is revealed from heavens against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men. He got a good point about that. And that's because men that you got around, they didn't teach you or show you positive and righteous things. They only taught you all the unrighteous things. But Yah is not going to hold them liable. Why? Listen to this. In verse where is we at? Romans chapter 1. Okay, in verse 18, it says, who hold the truth. How do they hold the truth, Father? Father Yah? Father Yah. How would man hold or men hold the truth, Deborah? How would they hold that, Father? How, Deborah, they hold the truth? This is Romans 18. Romans chapter 1, verse 18. They hold the truth, Deborah, in unrighteousness. So you can stand your tail up here and try to make me the liar. Me exalting myself above you. Truth and righteous been above you. You just too ignorant to realize it. It's going to stay above you. So you can stay underneath it. And when truth and righteous come, it ain't looking for a male and a female. So here it is. He's sitting here saying the men holds the truth, Deborah, in unrighteousness. Why? Because he trusts the men with the living. All the seeds were put in you. So what happened? Verse 19, Deborah, because that which may be known of Yah, Deborah is already manifested in them. Why would he trust you with the living and not give you what it takes to bring them up into the righteousness or to bring them up with truth? From what he's saying, men, I gave y'all truth, but y'all chose unrighteousness over it. But then what did he say in verse 19? Because that which may be known of Yah, meaning it was manifested in you. Why? Because I trusted you with the seeds. Okay, so for you to be the seed carrier, then therefore the seeds belong to you. So therefore I trusted you with the truth to carry the truth to the seeds in which I have given you. So what did he say? For Yah has shown it unto them. This is where you're going to stand before judgment, and he's going to tell you 10,000 years. You never realize why I made man before I made woman. Woman is not the seed carrier. Woman is not the living. The one who carries the living is going to have the life. That don't come out of woman. These are your seed, men that I placed in your womb. And I hold you highly responsible. And you let me down. Even to the point when Paul pulled up in Romans chapter 1, he broke it down, he broke it up. He broke it down, he broke it up. Now watch what he says. Verse 20. For the visible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things which are made, even his eternal power and Godhead. His eternal power and his Godhead, he had already revealed that to you all. Here this little old hen come up and pull up in the year 2024, trying to get you all to understand his power and his Godhead. And it's like chasing a man with his tail between his legs while he chasing another man with his tail between his legs. And they chasing each other around, spilling hate at the highest on the face of the earth and showing the world of their type of hate. But they don't understand. You had the most highest position on the face of the earth as to take on the living. They all were in your womb, man. So listen to how beautiful this is. He not only says that the truth you hold. Well, wait a minute. You saying they hold the truth, Father? Yes, it was in them all the time. But they held it in unrighteous. They preferred unrighteous. They didn't want to uphold the truth there. So while you running around here as a female and hen, like you say, and you're trying to get them to at least look over out of the window, they ain't gonna look out. They didn't look in and they ain't gonna look out. They just need another man to keep boasting them, boosting them, giving them the energy to think that they kings, leaders, and rulers. When they have dropped the baton way from the beginning, even to the year 2024, in the eyes of Yah. But yet they want to claim to be all of that, and they are awakening, and now they finna reestablish what they couldn't do in 10 years. But they wants to tell the men, here we are, we the men, here y'all, come on, let's. And that's why you see a lot of chaos going among them. And it's you ain't seen nothing yet. It's gonna get that bad. It's gonna get badder than what you think bad is. Okay. Now, one thing I want you men to understand. It says in verse 19, because that which may be known of Yah is manifested in them, Deborah, already. Truth was already in them. Now watch this here. Verse 20, for the visible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even the eternal power. And Sister Deborah around here trying to get y'all to see the power. She's trying to get you to understand what the power is. Why is it pulling up power? Because power was in the beginning and they never saw it. They never saw all that power in Genesis 1. And then it says not only the power, but Deborah, they were also shown the Godhead. Now watch this. So that they are without excuse. You know what that means? Yah is going to hold y'all so accountable when you stand before that throne. Because this is what Romans chapter 1, verse 18, 19, and 20. Read it over. He's talking to men. Now watch this here. Verse 21. Because that when they knew Yah, yeah, they glorified him not as Yah. You mean they knew you to be Yah, but they still yet didn't glorify you to be Yah? He said, go back up, Deborah, to 18. They held the truth. They had the truth. They held it in unrighteousness. But they telling the women, y'all put us out. See, it's the same lie back then as it is now. Being able to justify, clarify, and identify, they have never taken their righteous position since Genesis chapter 1 that the throne had orchestrated and designed for them. And then as I'm reading Roman, I can't even get out because Roman is not on my list. But I know Paul had the perfect example where he's not talking to women. He's spending some time telling men, I got y'all number. Go on, feed this trash to the women. Everybody born to die. So think you can kill them. Think you can hate them. Think you can do everything. I'm taking you and judging you at the measure of what I created you for. That's why I tell y'all, people are not awakened. There's no such thing. Enoch, they even screwed it up in what they believe. Just as they took this instructions and direction book and made it the word. Now listen to what 21 says. We're still in Romans chapter 1 and verse 21. Because that when they knew Yah, they glorified him not as Yah. So you telling me that they knew you, Father, but yet they did, Deborah. It was in them. Everybody at the sound of my voice, go back over Romans chapter 1, verse 18, 19, 20, and 21. That's what he says. Not only did they know me, but they glorified me not as Yah, neither were they thankful. So how are you going to be thankful for a wife? How are you going to be thankful for a family when you can't be thankful for the one that created you? See, this is where the light is pulling, not pulling, it's bringing light to darkness. All this trash about how the women did the men back in the days, what they did. If it's not what the women done to them, it's what the white man did. That's how messed up it is, y'all. But yet y'all never delivered you from what the white man was doing to you, because Yah knows who you really are. Because he said he even put himself and truth in you for you to know it. And the same lie you tell on women is the same lie you told on Yah. And that's what Yah have always taught me. He said, if they lie on me, they're going to lie on you. That's what he told me to tell the women. If he didn't say Eve, he didn't blame Eve first. He blamed Yah first for giving him Eve. And then he blamed Eve. Never was the creation that would own up, even to today. So we as females, stop trying to get them to own. They're not going to. Anytime you can be born as the first on the earth and you're carrying the seeds and you deny every seed and you deny the creator who put himself in you so you would know that he is in you and truth was put in you, was manifested in you, and you use righteous over it. He said you upheld truth. And what did he say? In unrighteous. You upheld truth in unrighteous. That's what you have done when you tell these women that when you put us out to get word for. You know what? Think now, you were supposed to be in there taking care of them, and we're about to read that. Let's get into that. But I like to show you in 21 what the Father wants you to read this to kind of get a grip of men not knowing the power and authority that y'all trust them with. Trusted them with. Listen to this. Verse 21. We still in Romans chapter 1, verse 21. Because that when they knew Yah, they glorified him not as Yah, neither were they thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. See what I'm saying? This is showing you women all over the world who you don't even need a religion to grip this. This is where they come in and now deny the New Testament because Paul didn't shine light on it. You see? But then Paul the one told you women should keep quiet. You believe that? But when Paul is telling these sort of things I'm giving y'all, Romans chapter 1, verse 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22, y'all, it's telling you how far man has fallen from what they were created in Genesis chapter 1 to do. They've been gone away. And women thinking it's their fault. No, let's go. Let's rumble. We're getting ready to really what you call rumble. So let's go to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 4. And I'm going to break that thing down. I'm going to not only break it down, I'm going to go up and I'm going to come back down with it. Okay? Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4. Okay? Okay, here we go. And ye fathers. Okay, is he saying the mothers? He's telling the fathers. He's telling the men that are fathers, okay? Provoke not your children to wrath. You will not get a verse in your instructions and direction where he's telling women, provoke not your children to wrath. Why? Because the children are not the women. They are the men seed. This is the authority and the power he has given you, that you turned your back away thousands of years and stand today to tell the world that your black women put y'all out of the house to get welfare. She picked up the baton that you threw down. From your creation, you told the creator, I don't want to have nothing to do with you. So I don't care how many living you put in my womb. I get my thing off and I drop them there and keep it running. And that's what they did. And they thinking when they stand before glory, they're going to be able to justify, clarify, and identify before the throne. And he already let you know. Don't come up here thinking you're getting grace and mercy, because there's not going to be any for you. Okay? Okay? So listen to this. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4. And ye father, provoke not your children to wrath. Now, can a father provoke his children to wrath if he's not in the household? If he's not in the place in which Yah created him to be in? And why is he telling him not to provoke his children not to wrath? Because those are his seeds. Most likely, they're coming out of his womb and they are like unto him. And he's telling them, you have the power and the authority to make a difference in the living that I put in your womb. But I'm going to help you. And he says, fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but to bring them up in the neutral chair, in the nurturing and where's my word? Here it is. Admontation and administration of of Yah. Let's read that over. But bring them up in nurture and admiration of Yah. Now, is he telling women to do this or he telling men? He's telling the men. Men that was going to be fathers and men that are fathers. Do you see the power and the authority that he put on you? These are your living coming out of your womb. He's giving you the authority and the power to what? Nurture, to do what? Admiration, to bring them up in the admiration. And what does that mean? Nurture and admiration. Care for, encourage, and grow and or develop. Counselor and warning. This is what you were supposed to do to your children. So when you see the world the way that it is, it's because man has been out of order since the beginning of time. And I'm going to show you he's not telling woman none of this. I'm going to show you the power of the authority that was invested into men before the foundation of the world. And this is the position they have left. They have went on jobs and upheld everything that Europeans have put them in. Everything the Europeans tell them to do and how to do it, when to eat, when to sleep, they don't have no problem following the orders of the Europeans. But the position that y'all called them to be is a man, they don't follow none of that. That's why he was letting us know in Romans chapter 1, verse 18, 19, 20, 21. I'm going to deal with that at the throne, Deborah. See, they really thought they didn't got away with it since it's been so many thousands of years. They really do. So that's why I'm saying I'm not a dead prophet. I'm a living one. I'm a living witness to his word. Now he's sitting here telling the men that you nurture your children. Don't cause them, don't provoke them, those children. Listen to what he said. He said, and ye fathers, provoke not your children. Now, why couldn't it say, ye fathers and mothers, provoke not your children? He know who he gave the seeds to, y'all. The kingdom know who he put the seeds in. And most likely, the seeds are going to be likened to the seed carrier. But he's telling you men. He at any time it could have been fathers and mothers. It could have been instead of it could have been the parents, children. Provoke parents, provoke not your children to wrath. Why isn't it that? Because see, this is where you all went wrong and always going to be wrong. Because like Romans chapter 1, verse 18, 19, 20, and 20, that opens up a whole new religion. And it's called truth and righteous. This is what they don't want women speaking. Because they know they are not bound to what men are bound to. And that is power, authority of their position. They're not bound. Therefore, they're going to speak freely, spirit and truth. Okay? Now, right then, it tells you, right there, he's only said it to the fathers. He didn't mention, and he called these children your children. So how is it the fathers can go all over the world and drop babies and leave them and never take care of them, no go see about them, no medical, no dental, no food, no housing, no shelter, and think they're going to stand before the throne of the Most High God as if they represent something. And another thing they didn't understand, these could be even your talents, which you thought it was things that you do in the church. No, it could be your talents. And you thinking it's one thing. Because what he put in you, he put that in you in the beginning. And you know what? In Romans chapter 1, 18, 19, 20, he's telling you, I even put truth in you. I was, who I was already manifested in you. Why? Because he trusted you men with the seeds. And you let him down. Even to today, still barking and blaming woman. Like Adam did in the garden. Because he took off his crown. He threw down his baton. So that now he blamed her. But first and foremost, women, I say, first stand down on that, said the Most High God. He wants you to know he first blamed him for the woman that he gave him. Then he blamed her. So know in life, they will first blame Yah and then they'll blame you. So the fault that they have laid upon women, y'all want the men to understand. You first blamed me before you can blame her. Because I gave you the seeds. I gave you the living. and you part them. Once you got your sensation, your feeling, and then you parked them, took away, and went and got another one, did the same thing, and traveled as if this all these living I put in you was just for you to drop them here and there and go here and there and leave and go somewhere else. No, no. I don't think you're gonna find that in David. I don't think you're gonna find that in Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Solomon. I don't think you're gonna find that type of them conducting themselves in that manner. That's why you got to know the difference between you and them. They are the spiritual seed. You are the flesh seed. Okay. So let's go to another one. Let's go to Deuteronomy 4. In Deuteronomy 4 and verse 9. In Deuteronomy 4 and verse 9, it reads, this is why they want women to keep quiet. Because they know that the truth will come quickly out of the mouth of a woman. Because men been lying since the beginning of time. Mm-hmm. And he said, even in their righteousness, they had truth, Deborah. It was in them. But they upheld truth in unrighteous. That's deep, y'all. That's deep. That's Romans chapter 18. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 9. And it reads, Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 9. Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul, which I say spirit, diligently, lest thou forget the things which thy eyes have seen, and lest thou depart from the heart. Let me see if that's one of my, from the heart all the days of thy life. But teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons. You see, there it go again. He's saying here, watch this, but teach them thy sons, thy sons' sons. He's putting a charge on the males to make sure you teach these things to the sons and the sons' sons and sons' sons. What part is that he's talking about? When he said, train up a child in the way they should go. That child can be a male or a female, but I'm showing you what he said in this parable, this example in verse 9, Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 9. When he said, train up a child in the way that he should go. And when he get old, he shall not depart. Why? Because he would have trained his children up in the way that his dad had trained him. What way would that be? Is it like Pawpaw, Grandpa trained me? Or is it like Grandma trained me? Is it like my uncle, my brother? No, it's to train them up in righteous. Well, okay, Father, for you to want a man to train up his children in the way that they should go, what if he was not brought up in the way? Each individual is going to be liable for not training up, and his father is going to be liable for not training him up in what? Righteousness. That's why he's saying here, men, he kept it among the men. He said, listen to what he says, but teach, wait a minute, but he said, but teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons. He was telling the men to teach thy sons and thy sons' sons. Let's see what he said. Only take heed to thyself and keep my spirit diligently. Keep thy spirit diligently, lest thou forget the things which thy eyes have seen, and lest thou depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. But teach them thy son, and thy son's son. See, right there, he's telling the fathers. What he just said in verse 9, Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 9, teach these to your sons, your sons' sons. Why? Because the males is carrying living. You get it? Bro, You were created to carry the living. The seeds were in you. And it was important that the sons, because there too, it's going to carry the seeds. This is why this is the whole idea of this message being the power and authority of men. And honestly, they never fulfilled it. The mission from the beginning of creation was never fulfilled by men. They did not know and did not. Now, I don't even can't say they didn't know because he said they knew. In Romans chapter 1, it says they knew because I put it in there. So when he said train up a child in his way that they should go, he's telling the men. Why? Because you are holding the seeds. And most likely the ways of who you are, it's in the seeds. That's why he said, I will visit the iniquity of the fathers 3 to 4 generations. That's why we got cursed by the forefathers and not the foremothers. Because you all never knew your righteous position like you don't know now. And you follow the tail of a man. It ain't that you follow his tail. It's almost like your head is in his rectum and you're chasing behind him and your tail is between your legs and you're running in a circle. Because you're not coming to any spirit and truth. You're not bringing anything to the light. You're not coming to the light so that you be found out of the darkness come judgment. Instead, you're moving toward the darkness as if it's the pleasurable place to be on the earth. So I like that because he's telling the men, keep it among the men. Keep what? Speak this to the sons and to the sons' sons and to the sons' sons. Why? Because you got to drill it in the children. Men, it wasn't the woman's responsibility. It was your power and authority that you were given by being the firstborn. And it was said that he trusted it in you to carry the life, not the life to live it, meaning the seeds. Okay? So when you get to Deuteronomy 11 and verse 19, see, this is sad. That's why I tell y'all, don't talk to me about no Torah. You can't talk to me about no Enoch, no Torah, no nothing. Because when y'all allowed me to go into Enoch, and when I got in there, I said, see, here it is, right here. So you mean to tell me that it's been right here all the time? It's going back to what he just said. I put it in them, Deborah. I put this thing in them. And they uphold truth in unrighteousness. And he's not talking to the females. He was talking to the men. Romans chapter 18, Romans chapter 1 and verse 18. He tells you who he's talking to. So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 11 and verse 19. In Deuteronomy chapter 11 and 19. In Deuteronomy chapter 11 verse 19. Listen to this. And ye shall teach them your children, speaking of them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. What did he mean? This is what you need to teach the children. He's telling the men right here the same thing. What do you mean? Why is you saying he's telling the men? Because when he said, train them up in the way they should go, and when they get old, they won't depart. When we need to understand what way is that? Only one way, and that's righteous. He's not saying train them up in the way your daddy or your mama or your friend or these men are telling you to train your children up. And right now, today, many men haven't even seen. Men ain't trying to tell these men, get these sons in order, get these daughters in order, so they can stop kidnapping them, so they can stop crimes, so they can stop drugging. Get your kids, your children in order. They can't. They done messed up every relationship they done had with every woman and every child. They can't get what is theirs in order because it's nothing in them that won't order. Because y'all said he was in them, and they prefer unrighteous over the truth that was in them because I manifested it in them. I'm like, woo wee, you done done a lot for men. Yes, he did. And I myself, as a woman, I still salute every will and way in how he created everything. I think it was beautiful. And because creation took an ugly turn that was wicked and evil and still today rest in darkness, that's on them. But heavens already knew it would go that way. So listen to this Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 19. And ye shall teach them your children. He's talking to the men. These children are yours. That's why the law is letting women claim them because you gave up your right long time ago. Many Europeans and other nationalities, they will tell you women don't take over their children, the men does. But Judah, he don't give a rat's behind. He threw his position away a long time ago and want everybody to think melanated people is all that and something. Y'all didn't mess yourself up so bad. So bad. You disrespect my father. You profane his name. You polluted his land. And you totally disrespected him and profaned him in the midst of these heathens and these Gentiles. I don't care for that. Because I figured if you that low, that you do that to the creator who put you under his name, what you're doing to women is what's in you to do. Because you've already done it to the Father. So it don't matter. It don't matter. You ain't gonna do no better. Okay. So in 19, he says, teach them your children, speak of them when thou sittest in thy house. So can a man do anything for his children if he's not sitting his tail in his house? Go to work, come home, spend time with his family at the dinner table, and sit in the family room and talk? Watch this here. And when thou walkest by the way, picking them up from football practice or swimming lesson, okay? And when thou walkest by the way, and when thou lay down, and when thou rise up, these your children, these are your seeds. You should supposed to see them when you're sitting in your house watching television. You can see your babies. You can see your children. When you're walking by the way, when you're lying down, and when you're rising up, he's telling the men, you should see your seeds that was in you. When they're born, you're supposed to be right there with them. I know you women took them and said them they yours because you had really no other choice. They did exactly what Adam did. Took the crown off his head. The crown represents the position that you was created for, and threw your baton down, meaning you wasn't going to give past the baton in the way that you were called to be a man to no other man. And this is what you see today. That's why homosexual you also saw in the beginning. This is how bad it is. It was. And it's all of it had to do with men. And they will not own that thing. And y'all said don't mean nothing. It's over. They can't own nothing now. So they can continue living their lives and their darkness. But guess what? It's time for them to come to the throne. You sitting here telling them, and it's been thousands of years, they walked out of my order. Okay, now he's saying here, and when thou lay it down, and when thou rise up, what man see his babies down and raise up with? I near this one cuckoo clock with dials left him 8 babies, and he got 8 hate toward him the rest of his life. When he thinking he got a life where he got what? Oh, that's a real bad if that ain't a told a person when you get virgins, you get this one here and this one here. And this man, you can tell that he's short. You can tell that, you know what? Those that's on Dow's plantation, those are men that's short mentally. And I noticed that. I noticed that. They got some short issues mentally. Okay? You're looking at their body buff or they seem like they working and they building. They got some mental issues there. There is truly some mental issues, you guys. Now, this is what he said in 19. And let's go to verse 20. And thou shalt write them upon the doorpost of the house and upon the gate. You really believe. You really believe. Now, watch this here. I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to preach this thing tonight. But I'm going to tell y'all something. Everything I'm showing you he's talking to me. Women, you got to stand down on this one. You've been out of order. And I know most of you had to pick up the baton that he dropped because you had to see to it that the children be taken care of. But it wasn't your responsibility in the eyes of the Most High, the Creator. You got to hear what is being said here. Okay, let's go back. Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 19. And it says, and ye shall teach them your children, speaking of them when you sit it in the house, in the living room, in the TV room, at the dinner table. Speak these things of righteous to them. Okay, watch this here. And when thou walkest by the side, when y'all just going out to the park for a walk or going a place with your children, talk to them. Okay, watch this here. And when thou walkest by the way, when thou liest down, speak to your children before they go to bed. And when thou rise, say good morning. Speak to them. Say something. Okay? Now listen to this. Listen to this. Verse 20. And thou shalt write them upon your doorposts of thy house. Of thy house. These men can't even make a house for their own children. They go on a cult and let a man have them working to make a house, and that's the best way they can get something that they thinking is godly. When they have stepped 100% out of the God position that he created for as a man. Now, this is what a man is. I'm giving y'all the lowdown. This is the power and authority that you had, that you threw away, and you can't even go back to pick up. That's what's sad about it. That is sad. Now, watch this here. Verse 20. And thou shalt write them upon the doorposts of thy house and upon the gate. Verse 21. That your days may be multiplied, and the days of your children in the land which Yah sware unto your fathers. Give them, your fathers, to give them as the days of the heavens above the earth. Men, this was your responsibility. There go the baton being dropped again. These children didn't get a dad to sit in the living room or in the TV room or at the dinner table to say, I love you before you go to sleep, lie down. And when you raise up, have a good day or do good in school, or I see you when I come home. Men never left anything for their children. You see, and it's sad because when he said train them up, he was telling you to train up those seeds I put in your womb. In what way is that? The righteous. And when you train them up, when they get old, they won't depart because they've been trained theirs up in the righteousness that their father trained them up in. And I'm talking male and female. The first love of a daughter is her father. That's the first love is her father. So how could you call women and degrade women when Yah trusted you with the daughter? The love of the first love should have been your daughter. And she should have seen how you treated her mother, so she'll know how she should be treated. And you should be showing your son how to treat women by the way you treat your wife. See, you didn't train him up in the way. Instead, you trained him up how you can be absent from them. Not even having nothing in you to say, oh, my babies. I try to piece together, and I do this through the spirit of the Most High Yah, get me to understand, if they detach a man's arm, won't he miss it? If they detach both of his legs, won't he miss it? How can his in his womb, his seed be dispersed, and he not missing. I do not understand that. It has to be a lot of wicked and evil in the dark places in a man to leave the seeds that was implanted in him and not have a feeling or a care that he has not played a role in their lives. And then the men have nobody to get mad at but the one that had to pick up the baton because the men left them. They didn't even have enough love to stay to see you through. 3 years old, 6 years old, your eighth grade graduation, your graduation. It's not even something in them to say, I want to see my baby get to here. I want to see my baby run track. I want to see my son play football. They don't have nothing in them. And I don't. And the only reason I can understand is what Romans chapter 1 said. They took the truth and they held it up under unrighteous. And they preferred that which was unrighteous under Yah, than Yah. And that's what they did. They took on the man position under unrighteous instead of realizing, wait a minute, y'all, we had a total mission from the kingdom of the throne. And you mean to tell me we didn't fulfill it? Nowhere near it. You still today will say it's a woman's fault. And if it ain't the woman, it's the white man. It's everybody's fault. And y'all like to say to you, why would you think I would start at the beginning when there was no sin and place these seeds in you? Why? I placed truth in you. I manifested in you. So you would always have it. And you chose unrighteous and you held truth under unrighteous. That's deep. So I like this here. Again, he's talking to the men. You were supposed to train them up in the way that they should go, which is called righteous. Why would a woman have to train up you all over again? Come on now, talk to me, somebody. That's what the men don't understand. That's you all over again. Whether it's a daughter or whether it's a son. So when you calling these women bitches and hoes and harlots, they come from your womb. So what did that make you be? You see? It don't make them that because you married him. It makes you look at a man all over again. See, if she's the harlot and she's a bitch and she's a this and she's a that, when she come out of the womb of a man. Now what you got to say? The seeds were placed in him. That's why he says that you were cursed due to what your forefathers did, because he knew that the seeds were always trusted in the womb of the men, and their ways falls into the children that they disperse, and then they run and hide and don't have to have no responsibility. But the kingdom gonna check you on that, and it ain't gonna look good. That's why he got books for the lake of hell. Because a lot of you all thinking, oh, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And what people even thinking, that's why people don't want to move from their wicked and evil. They don't think they're going to even see nothing. They even have the thought of the lake of hell. Let them think it. So let's go now to Isaiah chapter 38. But these are the things that's going to keep everybody who's saying they're pastor, they're bishop, they're priest, they're an apostle, they're a prophet, they're a pastor, a priest, a Maureen, a seer, a watchman. You all that trash. But y'all going to check you on the seeds that he planted in you and see where you stand. Because I myself couldn't see him allowing them to still today get away with it and not be held liable unless he's going to see them on the other side when they come to the kingdom. Oh, yes. Okay, Isaiah, because that's not how he runs. He ain't going to let you do all of that and think that you're going to stand before the kingdom and be eternal. Oh, no, I can't see that. Okay, Isaiah chapter 38. And this is why the hate is so high. in their hearts for women because they have done the ultimate against the Most High Yah. So the only thing that can heal that feeling of how they conduct themselves all these thousands of years, let's hate the only one that's been there beside us. Maybe we'll feel good about it. Maybe it'll make us to be somebody or feel better. And that's what makes them feel better. If they blame woman and they hate her and they kill her and they do all the wicked and hateful and evil things, that they're going to be okay. And they train other men to do likewise. They really do. And y'all, they don't even know. The Father said they don't even understand when you're teaching hate toward woman. The blood is on your hands because there's many hearing your hate in the last 15 years. You're hearing the hate and you're going acting on it. 24 hours. They're acting on the way those are teaching and preaching it on these platforms. The hate toward female. If you say that I'm giving you these verses and I'm breaking them down to you in spirit and truth, if you call that hate, then you are the seed of the serpent. You are born of the flesh. Okay? Okay? Now, Isaiah, and it's sad thing, you ain't gonna get the men to teach you what is plainly seen. There's nothing new under the sun. It's plainly seen. And they ain't gonna teach you it because they want you to go the same route that they are heading. Isaiah 38 and verse 19. In Isaiah 38 and verse 19, the living, he shall praise thee. Let me see if that's one of my verses. Yeah. Isaiah chapter 38 and 19. The living, he shall praise thee, as I do this day. The Father of the children shall make known thy truth. Listen to this. The living, he shall praise thee, as I do this day. The Father of, I heard something. The Father of the children shall make known thy truth. Do you see it again? The Father of the children shall make known thy truth. Where's the mother? Where's the mother? Why couldn't they say parents? It's because before the foundation of the world, man was created to take on the powerful authority of this position. And every last one turned away. Now, me, myself, my mom and dad had 7 children. My dad was there. I did. We ate with our daddy. In the morning, we spoke to him. In the daytime, he always did things with us, especially on holidays as well. He showed himself to be the one that seen to it that we had a good time during the what you call the holidays, which are now considered, which was then pagan holidays. But it's just the time that he put in as a father. And I think that I really believe he was the most likely probably the one of the best father on the face of the earth. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. My daddy, I mean, the way and people tell us when he was young, even as he's older, they never seen him argue. They never seen him fight. They never seen him fussing. He just wasn't that type of person. And he had 7 children, and he made sure his babies were taken care of. Yes, he did. We had, like I said, a big house, and he made sure we were taken care of. That was my dad. So here I like to say to you all, when he would come from lunch at work, in his lunchbox, he'd leave cookies. I'm sure he wanted to eat his stuff, But he was so many years, he always left stuff in his lunchbox for us. Because the moment my daddy come through the door, we all run for his lunchbox. Do you know what that made a man feel like? Every day he come from work. Oh, my baby's coming because I left him something in the lunchbox. Do you know what that feels like? He felt like a proud father. And we made this thing of getting his lunchbox as soon as he hit the door, and we running with the lunchbox to the kitchen so we all can open it up and see what he left us. Because he always left us something, y'all. Especially, not especially, we got an extra treat on Fridays. That's his payday. It was always something special there for us. But Monday through Friday, he always left something in them lunchbox, in his lunchbox for us. And I think that was beautiful. I can still remember that. And to us, my daddy was, hey, now one of his children cannot say that he was the best daddy in the world. I know some people might say, well, you just said it about your daddy. He been on his job about 48 years, something like that. And they'll tell you, no, this not this man here. We ain't heard a word out of him. I'm telling y'all. My dad never saw his father, never met his father, never knew his father. Um, and we never had my daddy's father in them in our lives. We never knew him. My daddy never knew him. You see? So my dad had what you call them eyes? Hazel eyes. His were gray and green. So I guess that's hazel eyes. I don't know what kind of eyes, but they were gray and green. And he had his hair texture was like baby hair. That's how my dad's hair was. It was like, you know, those little baby curls, and that's how his hair was. Okay. And he didn't have like the nose that I have. He had a real thin nose. You know what I'm saying? He was just he was just a pretty good guy. And I think, oh, you talking about my dad, but then again, all of us got it too. All of us got my dad's legs. People always talk about how our legs look. You know, our legs were always, we got good looking legs. I put it like that. But I always thought that about my dad. You know, my mom got pretty good ones too, but I always thought we got it from my dad. I know my oldest son, he has my daddy's legs. My oldest son, I remember when my oldest son was in the hospital when he was what, 17? No, 16. Oh, yeah, he was 16. And the nurses and the doctor was saying, where did he get these big calves from? Now, he wasn't a big guy, but they was like, it's just unusual. And I said, that's my daddy. That's my daddy. He got them from my daddy. Things come down the father's bloodline. Yes, they do. Even from the daughters, it comes from her father's fathers. It can come down the daughters, but it's her father's father. Yes, that's where it comes down. So here I see in Isaiah chapter 38 and verse 19. Let's read that again. Isaiah chapter 38 and verse 19. The living, he shall praise thee as I do this day. The father to the children shall make known thy truth. See, it's still putting a liability on the fathers. This is the title of this message, the power and authority of a man. These things he don't know about. He don't care about. These are things he can't even go back to pick up to correct because he wouldn't know how because he'd gotten so far away. So when I'm telling you that these people run out and they go so far out in the ocean that they can't see dry land, that means they can't be out in the ocean so far and then look back and see dry land and say, let me swim back. Why? Because if you don't see dry land, you don't know what you're swimming back to. You see? And the purpose of you not seeing dry land because you went too far deep. It's no purpose for you to see dry land. You went too far deep with a bunch of men telling you that this is the route to go because that's what they did. Okay. So I like that because it's telling you the same thing. The father to the children shall make known the truth. The fathers to the children. Where's the mama? Why didn't they just say parents? Because when you see Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, 27, 28, 29, you see where Yah had a charge for his perfect will. Everything was put in order. Okay? But you see where we at. Joel, chapter 1 and verse 3. In Joel, chapter 1 and verse 3. Let's see what it said. Tell ye your children of it, and let your children tell their children, and their children another generation. Now, you see, the whole idea to train up a child in the way of righteous so that they can teach their children righteous and their children. So, how you start with righteous? By the father showing that he is the man of the household, being present at dinner, being present when they lay down, being present when they wake up, in the living room sitting down. It tells you that's your purpose for creation. What we did, we skipped all of that. We bypassed all the things the men, away from everything they were created to do, and dropped the baton and took off the crown, meaning the position of a man, took it off and ran everywhere, dropping the seeds all over the place, never turning back to do anything that they were created and had the power and authority to do. And that is to follow the righteous will of the Father for your purpose in your creation. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Let's go to Exodus chapter 10. So this part, when I'm going to Deuteronomy, I'm going to Exodus, I'm showing you how deep this here goes as far as the position of a man, from the old to the new, to the new to the old, whatever you want to call old and new. But in your instructions and direction book, it's laying it out that you always had an appointment, a position called to do. And all these positions these men are grabbing now, Maureen, general, apostle, prophet, bishop, teacher, and Maureen, and seer, and watchman, all these positions. And they didn't take the first position you were created to be, is a male, which is a man. You didn't take that position. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Exodus chapter 10, verse 2. But you're around here trying to be a leader, a king, a ruler, trying to be the Lion of Judah, trying to be all these positions. But what happened to your born position from the kingdom, from the throne? A man that has the seeds in him, the responsibility, the liability. What happened to that? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Exodus chapter 10 and verse 2. In Exodus chapter 10 and verse 2, we're going up into what they call Torah. This is why Sister Deborah can't listen to them. Men nor women even trying to ride on Torah because they don't get it. And this is a shock for me. It is such a shock to hear people can teach Hebrew and Greek, can teach all the lost books and the found books, and all this here science and all this thing, all these words, Greek, and all this stuff in this book, but they are far from what the book is in detail informing them in their study guide. They don't have no spiritual understanding of what's going on in Torah. Okay, so here we are in Torah. We in Exodus chapter 10, verse 2. And thou shalt make it tell in the ear. Wait a minute. And that thou mayest tell in the ears of thy son. Okay. And of thy son's sons. What things I have wrought in Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that ye may know how, no, that ye may know how that I am Yah. Right there is showing you that he held man responsible for identifying him to his seeds, to his children, especially who? The sons. Why? The sons hold the seeds, y'all. And their sons, and their sons. Women don't hold the seeds. The seed of living is in the man. And this is why he's constantly talking to telling men how to make sure that your sons and sons and sons get this thing. And they stand today and talking about these women raised these sons, or these women raised these men. A woman can't raise a man. Wait a minute. A man is already risen from the dirt by the Most High Yah. He's called in your womb as a son, as a man. What is there to raise outside of you all over? Because that is exactly what the women is left with. You all over. And if she couldn't get along with you and you was a hot mess not taking care of yours, same way their children going to be. So y'all say all this trash trying to make women liable for you and your seeds has always been a lie. And it's plainly seen. Solomon says nothing new under the sun. It's like I'm talking about in Torah. It's all the way to the end. Men, these are your seeds. That's how your seeds got work. That's how the forefathers' seeds is worse today than the forefathers were yesterday, who got us put in this cursed situation. And he said, we are worse than them. You see? Because everything is out of order. From what? From the beginning. In the way he orchestrated. You got out of order. You didn't take your righteous position as the one born created first. There was a reason. Because you was carrying all the living in you. That's why. And he wanted you to understand that. Did you understand that? No, you didn't. So listen to this. Exodus chapter 10 and verse 2. And that thou mayest tell in the ears of thy son and thy son's son what things I have wrought in Egypt. Okay? And my signs which I have done among them, that ye may know how that I am Yah. So the reason why the sons and sons don't know today is because men dropped the ball of their position as a man in the house, because they were the seed of living in them. They didn't teach it to them. Not then and not now. And the biggest scapegoat is the white man and the woman. And they really believe when they stand before the judgment seat, they're going to be able to use that very same thing. And I'm quite sure when Adam come before the judgment seat, the first thing he gonna say again, oh, it was still Eve, that woman you gave me. See, it's nothing new under the sun. It's the same men that Adam was, that you see today. And they want to act like it's not them. Oh, yes, you are. The difference from Adam and you, that he had a sacrifice to wipe away those sins. But the moment he died on the cross, all the sin within seconds were back, because they were committing sin. 24. You see? This is in Exodus. He's telling the men to whisper it, to put it in their, tell it to your sons in their ear. All that I am, all that I've done in Egypt, tell it to your sons. And then you running around here today trying to, these ignorant women, running around here trying to make it look like that we got to reveal to our people who they are. Wait a minute. It was the man's responsibility to transfer righteous and truth from man to man. It wasn't man to man. It was from male to male to male to male. Because that's what make the household right. Is when the men teaches the sons righteous. And they teach their son righteous. And they teach their son righteous. See, y'all know what he did. He put the living in your womb. And you cut up from the floor with wicked and evil. And this is where the catch is at. He ain't speaking that the Satan made you do it. That's what a lot of people do not understand. There is, if you can go through your instructions in the direction book and you can see where man been doing things without Satan pushing them or driving them to it. He's dealing with the heart and the spirit of man. He ain't blaming Satan for everything. He never told you the worst enemy was Satan. He said it was yourself. But that's another scapegoat. We didn't live these thousands of years even blaming Yah, woman, and every other nation for all of our wrongdoing. And we gotten away with it. So they think. So they think. Let's go to Psalms. In Psalm 78, Psalm 78 and 4. In Psalms 78 and verse 4. Psalms 78 and verse 4. And it reads, we will not hide them from their children. We will not hide them from their children. Showing to generation to come the praises of Yah and his strength and his wonderful works that he has done. Verse 5. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he command our fathers, see, that they should make him known to their children. Say I'm a lie. I double dare you. Say I'm a lie. This is what they've been escaping. Yah always was charging them all the time. And they make, like he said, and it makes so much sense, Paul. Paul, you nailed that thing in Romans chapter 1, verse 18, 19, and 20. Yah always put it in there. Since Torah, he put it in there. Since the beginning, he put it in there. And they uphold truth with righteousness, under unrighteousness, under unrighteousness, under unrighteousness, in unrighteousness. Let's go over this. Psalms 78 and verse 4. We will not hide them from their children, showing to the generation to come the praises of Yah and his strength. That means that power. You can't pull up. You got to pull up with that power, Yah. I got to give the Father his power. Okay? He says, showing the generation to come the praises of Yah and his strength, which is his power, and his wonderful works. That's what his power pull up on. That he has done with his power. That's that strength. Now watch this here. For he established a testimony in Jacob. And appointed a law in Israel. Which he commanded our fathers. He commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children. So you're running around here wondering. Ain't nobody hid nothing from you. It ain't never been hid from y'all. Y'all just lying. Trying to get away from truth. Trying to make people think that women, the white man, you know, the heathens and Gentiles are Bob, and they doing this, and women been taken to it, giving you the escape way. That's why when I hear horse mouth women talking about what women need to do for men, use a fool, you don't live a fool and die a fool. Because the receipts are right here to see how the instructions and direction is telling these men your called position from the kingdom, from the throne of Yah was given to you. That's why it was separate, that he created you separate from woman. He spoke you into existence to be made as a team, as them. But when it created it, he created you first so you can look at yourself. So you can be alone with yourself and recognize, wait a minute, I got a crown on my head. I got a baton in my hand. But what you do, you put the baton down, you took the crown off your head. And that's what the men has done throughout time. Okay, so I liked it that because he's letting you know the testimony is in the house of Israel, in the tribe of Judah, and they haven't. Judah ain't showed none of their children anything. They showed their sons is to hate women, to be evil, to be whoremongers, to be thieves, to sell drugs, to sell guns. So what you see in these children is what their fathers have taught them. And y'all want women running around here trying to figure out why these kids like that. They are their father's seed. They come from their father's womb. And that's why he said your worstest enemy is in your foe. Your foe mean in your household, those that you brought forth. Who brought it forth? Woman birthed it, but it came from the womb of a man. Those are his seeds that he brought forth. Then he turned around and let you know. And in your seeds in the household, out of your seeds, you're going to have 2 against 3. What's the against for? Just letting you know what's coming up out of you. And who is it left with? Woman. Children shall oppress woman. Why? Because she is left to rule over them. Not to rule over man, but to rule over the children of man that was left with her, which it says they going to oppress her. And that's what you're seeing in the world today. And God is allowing it because he already got you checked out when you get to the kingdom. And a lot of y'all don't even believe that, but you'll see, you'll find out after you see the judgment on this earth in these captivities. You see the true judgment, because right now y'all ain't seen the true judgment yet. Okay, so that was in Psalms chapter 78 and verse 4. Now, let's go to Genesis chapter 48. We go back into Torah. We're going right back into Torah. 48. Genesis chapter 48 and verse 15. Genesis chapter 48 and verse 15, and it reads, Genesis chapter 48 and verse 15, and he blessed Joseph and said, Yah, before whom my fathers, Abraham and Isaac did walk, the Yah which fed me all my life long until this day. The Yah which fed me, I like that, Joseph. I think that's beautiful. The Yah which fed me all my life long until this day. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Now let's go to verse 16. The angels which redeemed me from all evil, blessed the latter, the lades, and let my name be named on them, and the name of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into the multitude in the midst of the earth. Praise the mighty Yah. I like what he says when he says, and Yah which fed me all my life. See, there go Joseph. Joseph is giving glory not only just to the Most High Yah who fed him, he's also giving glory to Abraham and Isaac, the fathers. Because see, what he's saying is they are the spiritual father. I am the spiritual seed of the spiritual fathers. That's what he said. He said, I am the seed of the spiritual fathers. That's who he's the seed of. He is a seed of the spiritual father. He is a spiritual father as well. You see what I'm saying? So he's I like what he says when he says, the Yah which fed me all my life long until this day. So I like that. I like that because it's give the glory back to who the glory is due, who's due the glory. Okay. So let us go. Let us go. What verse is that? Let me get that right. Let us go to Psalms 100. Oh, is it? Yeah, 103. Psalms 103. Psalms 103. In Psalms 103, verse 13. Psalms 103 and verse 13. It reads, Thou shalt arise and have mercy upon Zion. For the time of the favor, no, that ain't it. Let me see if I got the wrong. I'm sorry. I'm in 102. In 103, verse 13. I'm sorry. Psalms 103 in verse 13. Like a father pitied his children, so Yah pity them that fear him. Like a father that pity his children, so Yah pity them that fear him. Listen to how that sounds. He's telling you a father to have pity on his children. You think these men have pity on their children? No. They go to house, place to place, state to state, city to city, led up to get their pleasure, dropping sperms all over the place and not feed, take care, or be in there for none of them. And they didn't done they didn't thought they didn't not done. They thinking and they didn't been a man's job. They really do, y'all. Oh, I'm a man. I'm a leader. I'm a ruler. I'm a king. I'm a man. And fail to realize this is really what I'm giving you to make you the man. See, you ain't the man because a man tell you that's what you are. You the man because Yah say I created you to do what she's telling you right here. Can you say you've been the man? You've been there when they woke up, when you've been there when they lay down, you've been there when they was dinner, you went there when he was sitting in the living room. Did you go for walks with him? Did you raise him up? Did you bring him up in the fear of the Most High Yah? Did you remind them of who the I am, the Most High Yah is? Did you teach them? Did you lead them? Did you train them up in the way of righteous, in the way that they should go? So when they get old, they won't depart. Man, did you do those things? Or are you running around here trying to get justified and clarified and identified from another man while your head is up in his rectum, trying to get identified? And the head is in the rectum to hide shame. Because you ain't being what Yah called and created you from his throne to be. And that was born a man to do exactly the things I'm speaking of right here. A man was held liable in the eye of Yah. Now, what Yah do with you at the throne, that's between you and the Father. But I just want to say to him tonight, thank you so much. This early morning, thank you so much. Because this is truly a blessing to me to be able to go back into my study guide and go over this again to see how out of order, and they try to make you think that you're bashing men, that you're being negative toward men. So he said, if you speak this here out of their instructions and direction book, and then I allow you to expound, because greater is me that is in you than he that is in the world. You know, they got more answers. They got more blood on their hand than they think. Oh, yes, you do, bro. Too many children got lost in the crossfire. You're running around here, and I was just looking at a man that it's supposed to be coming to some page or to the movies, or I don't even think it's coming to the movie where he's trying to tell people they didn't kidnap so many children that is underground, that it is off the chain. They got just that many children. He said they can't even be numbered. You see? And you think these fathers missing them? No, they ain't. They don't give a rat behind. But they don't understand. It's you down there they got. And their blood is still gonna be on your hand because the father gonna charge you. What was the seeds I gave you? Where's these seeds I put in you? What did you do with them? Did you bring them up in the fear of Yah? Did you train them up in the way they should go, which is righteous? Did you feed? Did you clothe? Did you roof them? Put a roof over their head? What did you do for them? Did you teach them? They ain't got nothing to answer for when they stand before the throne. Nothing. So when you get to let's go over that again. Psalms, what was it? 103? Psalms 103 and verse 13. Let's read that again. Psalms 103 and verse 13. Like as a father pity his children. You think these men pity in their children? They don't give a rat's behind where they at, where they going, where they being, what they eating, what they wearing, what they thinking, what they feeling. So Yah pity them that fear him. Look how he's measuring a father and how he's supposed to have pity on his children. Look how he's measuring him. As the father has pity on them that fear him, it's the same pity he's looking for men to have for their children. It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. Let's go to Job. Job 42. In Job 42 and verse 15. And I like how he's putting this, but the sad, no, I ain't gonna say the sad, the power that's in this, you can go from the Torah, from Genesis, all the way to Revelation, and you hear him telling men how to deal with their children, how to bring them up, how to show them this. Even to the point, don't train your children up a way that's going to bring sorrow to the mother. He tells them that. But you think they care? No, they don't give a rest behind what God said. They took his truth and put it in under their unrighteousness. They don't care. Okay. Job 42, and have the audacity to be talking about other lost books and Enoch. What difference does it make? You ain't abiding by nothing but the desire of your flesh. So it don't matter. Job 42 and verse 15. Let's go there. Job 42 and verse 15. And it reads, and in all the land were no women found so fair as the daughter of Job. And the father gave them an inheritance among their brother. And the father gave them inheritance among their brother. You see, the father gave them inheritance among their brethren. And what was that? Okay, that was, and in the land were no women found. This is after Job, end of his torment, so fair as the daughters of Job, and their father gave them inheritance among the brother. The father gave them. That's what the men don't understand. It's about what you were supposed to do. It never was about woman to do. It was all what he had implanted in you to do. He knew he had put the seeds in you. And you were the one that was supposed to train them up and be all of this to these seeds. So when you get to Isaiah chapter, and then when you run your tails over to Isaiah, and you want to hoop and holler and let these men lie to you here. 99.9 of Judah, Negroes, I'm going to put it like that, that teaches this book will lie to you here. Listen to this. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. As for the people, children are, now watch this here. As for my people, Children, that means Israel. Children are their oppressors, and the women ruled over them. O my people, they which led you, thee, which led thee, caused thee to error and destroy the way of the path. The way of the path is what? Righteous. Who's to lead that? Who did he held liable to lead that path? Men. And they led y'all error. And the men would teach it that the woman is the one that's leading it. Nope, that's a lie. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressor, and women shall rule over them of the children. And this is what's all at home. You know that's the truth because that's the only one that's with these children that are the seed of the men. All of these behavior, mental problems, learning disabilities, and all of that mess is founded in the men. And the women has to be oppressed by because they the one that have to get them help. They the one that have to put up with all these mental illness and these issues that was already in the men through the bloodline, but the women have to be what? Put up with it because they are left with the children. Here you can't say that he's speaking of the men because they left their household long time ago. So this is where this is where you're gonna know it. As for my people, children are their oppressors. Now watch this here. Are their oppressors. And women rule over them. Over who? The children that are oppressing them. Trying to get them some sort of order. And this is why they have no hard time raising these sons because the sons are the product of their own father with mental illness, bad behaviors, tempers, rebellion, and disobedience, stiff neck. This is what these women are raising, the children of these men. Now, watch how you know that that's what he said. Watch this here. Oh, my people, they which led thee. Who? Woman never led the people. The woman is ruling over the oppressor children that was left there. But the woman never led. She just ended up with them in this day and time because they are oppressing their household. Well, who's there ruling them? Women. And the men standing back grinning, talking about how that's what they get. That's what they get. Why? Because she got you all over again while you took off and had babies everywhere. And all these women running around with these children with this behavior problem and these tempers and these learning disabilities. And they trying to figure out where is this mess coming from. Baby came from the bloodline of that father. That y'all been rejected since the father been trying to get y'all to see it from the beginning. And y'all been rejecting it. That's why he wants the men to spend time in that household. That's why everything is out of whack, out of control. Now watch this here. Watch this. They which in verse 12, Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12, they which led thee, that means led, men that led thee. Watch this here. Thee caused thee to error and destroy the way of the path. He ain't talking about no woman. Woman is ruling over all this oppressor. And that's some hell. Because those who led you, what did they do? They destroyed the way of the path. What way was that? The way y'all created the household. The men wasn't liable for what they were supposed to be and do. And they left the woman. Let's go. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 4. What does it say? And I will give the children to be their princes, and the babes shall rule over them. You see? The young men's going to rule over the old men. Because what? They didn't do what they were supposed to do. And in this oppressor state, this is oppressor's state of mind that the children are in. They're wanting to rule and control. And everybody knows that that's what's going on in the world today. And who stuck with that oppressor? Woman. But let's go, let's proceed. Verse 13. And Yah standing up to plead and stand to judge the people. Watch who he's talking about. Watch it now. And Yah will enter into judgment with the ancient. Who is the ancient? That's the men. And Yah will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people and with the princes thereof. For ye have eaten up the vineyard and spoil of the poor in your houses. That's the men, y'all. That's the men. That's the men. And they have gotten away with it for so long. Here we are today. They still using it as a shield of defense without even teaching spirit and truth of the whole matter. We dropped the baton. We took off the crown. And we did it in the face of Yah with no shame to our game, to where we still live in that same way today, proudly teaching and preaching it. Even the word of hate to men, to hate the women, and not realize they the only one upheld your mental, unstable seeds. So when you get back to what was it, Job? No, he was talking about how Job gave his daughters. How Job's the daughters were fair, and their fathers gave them inherited among their brother. Okay, and he gave the brothers inheritance. Okay. Now let's go to First Timothy. We almost done here. I don't want to go past 2. First Timothy, and this whole book is telling men. You know how they say this whole book about the Israelites? Let me tell you something. Not only is it telling the Israelite a lot of things, it's not just for the Israelite, but it's telling the Israelite their A to Z of who they supposed to be and what they supposed to be doing. But guess what it's telling more than anything? It's telling the men from your position, from the throne, created as a man, all the way to where you at today, that I'm going to measure that mess. Because you really thinking you gotten away with everything. And you left it in the hands of the woman, and I put it in you. That's why the children has mental issues that extend from your father's fathers. And a woman trying to battle how she gonna deal with it when I got to take them to see a psychiatrist, I got to take them to get some medication, I got to take them to do this, and they trying to deal with it thinking something they did, and men telling this because women trying to raise men. No, baby, women trying to just take care of what you left. And as they said in Isaiah 3, the children going to oppress her because you done left. You led the wrong path. You led the wrong path and went the wrong way. But what he's saying is, you've been doing that. This ain't nothing new. Okay. 1 Timothy chapter 5. 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8. But if any provide not for his own, they don't have no respect for that. Anytime they stood up and said, that woman you gave me, she the one caused me. That's a man, the first man that was created, that had the crown on his head as the first one created, and the one that was carrying the seeds. He never owned up to his role in the garden. And the father said, if he didn't own up back then, ain't no man gonna own up today. They just gonna have to see me at the throne. And this is why I say, when people run around here talking about it's awakening, we awake, you ain't awakened to nothing. Ain't nothing been hid. You have had the wrong heart. You have been stiff-necked, rebellion, and disobedient to the one that listed you under his name. And you want to justify that by saying the heathens, the Gentiles, and the Europeans doing this to us. They did that. That's what they want to continue to say all the way to the end. And they successfully using it. And the judgment that's on them and everything else that Yah has been revealing to them, they don't give a rat's behind what Yah has shown them. And this is a powerful message. Now watch this here. Now, what are we? First Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for the house of his own house, he has denied the faith, and he is worse than an infidel. You notice he's not talking about a woman. He's talking about a man. Let's read it again. First Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, somewhere Yah wants you to understand. He's not asking you to provide for no other's houses but your own. And he said, anytime a man can't provide for his own house, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? His seeds make up his home. His seeds make up his home. So just look at all the million of Judah. What does he say? He has denied faith. You know what the faith is? That's the faith that connected to Yah. You are in full denial. That's why I tell you, men, you all don't even understand where you stand in the eyes of the Most High Yah. And this message here is telling you where you stand. And Yah said this message is not going to open your eyes to see. It's not going to awaken you to nothing. As if something you've been asleep to what it was. He said he put it in you. That's why you can't awaken today if he said he put it in you. You can't awaken today if he said he put it in you. He's letting you know, no matter where you go, it's in you. You can go in slavery in another part of the country in slavery and never be able to see the sun, the day of light. It don't matter. I put it in you. What did I put in you? Truth. I manifested in you. You know it. So here he says he has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. So all of these men in which Dowles had convinced to leave their families, y'all, to start new families full of virgins. Do you know what type of hell in those that they're marrying is going to catch? If any man provide not for his own house, and especially for those of his house, or do you really believe providing for your house is just financial? No, 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 no. Why is it that he says you have denied the faith? Because what the men didn't understand, you tapped into the spiritual throne that's on the kingdom. This is his order for you to be a man. Is this? You can't change it. You can't even go back to fix it. I'm just here to give you what you've been trying to escape all your life. But you're going to meet up with it at the throne. Because here he's saying, if any man provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own. He's talking about your seeds. He has denied the faith. But what did they rather do? They rather put their head in the rectum of Dowell, follow him wherever he tell them to go, because he's trying to teach them this is a man. This would make you be a king, a leader, and ruler. But what is the man that Yah created? A man that has living in his womb. That's what you call providing. He's not talking about just financial providing. He's talking about everything. Train up a child in the way that they should go. What way is that? Righteous. Provide that. Stay in your son's ear by providing him information of what went on in the old regarding the works of God. Provide your sons and daughter this information. You see? They're a long ways from home, y'all. They way out in the ocean. They can't even see dry land. And even if they seen dry land, they wouldn't know how to get back to it. That's how far out they gone. Okay? So I just wanted to show that. And he's given up on them faith. Do y'all understand faith? Without faith, you can't please y'all. See, y'all really thinking y'all escaping something, men. These men are teaching y'all how to use hate and dominion and ruling and king and leader and submissive to create this mindset that, okay, this is going to make you a man. And y'all sit here saying, what the woman has to do with this? She ain't never had nothing to do with this. I've been charging you all since Genesis. That's why I did him first and put him in the garden all by himself. See, he been dealing with y'all on that ever since then. And you could not even discern why was he created first? Why was he put there first? Because he had the seeds in his womb. He had the living in his womb. That's sad. That's really sad. So what was that? What was that verse we were just in, which was uh First Timothy 5, chapter 5 and verse 8. We covered that. Good. Now we're in First Timothy chapter 3, verse 4. First Timothy chapter 3, verse 4. Let's hear what it says. One that ruleth well his own house. Man, you're not going to escape it, y'all. So we know that we are in the last days. And this is how the best thing I can suggest to you men is to convert everything that you have ever been taught by men, trying to get you to be identify your creative position. Nobody can identify your creative position. It's already in you. You a man. You got the power and authority to walk what he has in the instructions and direction as far as in the best of your ability. And your ability don't mean to not do it in the order. You see, it ain't gonna be able to come out no other way. Now let's go here. You ain't gonna be able to do it your way. First Timothy 3 and 4. One that ruled well his own house, having his children in subjection with all cavities, with all cavities. Now, this is what's sad. No, don't say sad. This is what's powerful about this. Here he is talking to men again. Still talking to men. And here we are going up into ending the what they call the New Testament, going into Revelation. They still ain't got it right. They ain't gonna ever get it right. You think I'm speaking about this because they're gonna get it right? No, I'm speaking up because I know they ain't gonna get it right. Just as when he said, "Come out of her," so that you won't receive the plagues. He know you ain't coming out. He know you ain't coming out. But he got his T's crossed. He got his I's dotted. And everything I'm reading these verses, it's his T's crossed and his I's dotted. So when you stand before him, he'll let you know you in the books. This is the lake of fire. Go there, because that's which one you in. You see? So you thinking that Sister Deborah is just saying something and teaching, and she's not supposed to speak, and she's not supposed to exalt herself. Trash talk. Okay? It's trash talk. You've been escaping your creative position as a man all these thousands of years, and you still think that he ain't gonna let you do it? No, he's just letting you know the truth gonna be spoken. The light is gonna shine on all that darkness. Okay, so in Second Timothy chapter 3 and verse 4, one that rule well his own house, having a child subject, children subjection with all cavities. Verse 5, for if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of Yah? You can't. That's why I tell y'all, these men ain't got no business on these platforms talking nothing. I try to explain that to y'all. But yet they telling you to shut up so they can speak. And they ain't got no business on the platform because they are not are held without faith. They're infidel because they're not doing what they should supposed to be doing as men in the household. They're leaving it because another man is telling them, I'm going to show you how to be a man. I'm going to teach you how to be a man, a ruler, and a leader. And this is the part I try to say to you women. This is the main part. Listen to this. In verse 5, 1 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 5, for if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of church, of the church of Yah? Now watch this here. Go back to 4. This is where it's at. One that rules well his own house, having his children subjection. Subjection. You see that word? Having his children. They so busy trying to get the woman submissive. They can't follow the order, created position as a man to a father and a father to a man for the seeds that is in his womb. They so busy telling the woman submit. That means they want her to submit to all his desires. And this gonna make him a man. No, bro, this makes you a man. It's when you're able to follow a man definition from the kingdom of the throne of the Most High God. Now listen to what it says. 1 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 4. One that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all cavities. Now watch this here. Children subjection. How can a man have his children subjection? They don't. They care not about the children. They want to put the women over the children because they don't want to spend the time, the quality, and the mission of them being men that Yah holds them liable. Train them up. Train these children in the way of righteous. They don't want to do it. So this is why these children are out of order. And it's not because women are raising men. It's because men left men and didn't give them nothing to go on. Men left their daughters because they didn't show them how to be a man and how the daughters are to see men because they came from them. They won't teach them. They won't preach that thing either. That's sad. That's real sad. So I'm going to go through these last two verses. This is Proverbs 13 and 24. Okay. What you got for us, Solomon? Let's see here. Proverbs seem to have some pretty good ones. And it's a sad. It's not. Deborah said sad. Sad is not going to heal and deliver them for what they have done and continue to do. And they're going to continue to do it. The hate that they have for women is a reason for it. It's something behind it. And all these women thinking that they done something. No, baby. They didn't do something. They out of their creative position. And because they out of their creative position, they got to blame you. Adam was out of his creative position. What do you mean? He was told by himself before woman was created, don't deal with the tree of knowledge. Why is he standing before it? You see? Y'all messed it up from the floor. So it says Proverbs 13 and verse 24. And it reads, he that spareth his rod hateth his son. But he that loveth him chastises him before, be times. Verse 25, the righteous eat it to the satisfying of his spirit, but the belly of the wicked shall want. Now I want to stick with verse 24. Listen to what that is saying, y'all. Proverbs 13 and verse 24. He that spareth the rod hate his son. Why is it the word hate so heavy on that? Because Yah took into a man the living. He's carrying the seeds. I put him over Deborah. That's why I created him first. He is over every seed that's in his womb. I didn't tell him that woman was over it. She got left with the Patan, but it was man. And because so many women get left with these children become their liability and they feel they are liable now for them because they've been left with them all their lives. So what men don't understand, listen to what it says, Proverbs 13 and verse 24. He that spared his rod hated his son. This is why the sons are the way that they are, because the father spared his rod. He hates his children. That means he did not bring any correction to his seeds. Y'all know that these seeds ain't got no connection to the woman. He knows it. It's going to have to come through the fathers. Like our curse came through the fathers. He knows that. He knows how he orchestrated it from his kingdom. We as silly women get down here, don't know a rat's behind from a rat's behind. And we just take on what they say. And we keep trying to pamper them in the way of their sins and the way of their wicked. And this is how they constantly going on and going on. And then their sons and their daughters pick up their same traits that is in them. And you begin to raise the monster of who you are dropping seeds for, bringing forth seeds. You begin to raise his monstrous children. I seen a young man, he had to be about 13 or 14. He on top of his refrigerator. This was on YouTube. And his mother is arguing with him because she's trying to figure out, why would you bleach all my clothes and why would you cut and tear up my stuff and bleach my shoes? He's sitting here saying, because you went into my room and you better not hit me or I'm calling the police. She said, I already called the police. So what? But you better not hit me. That's why I tear up your stuff. That's why I bleed. And I'm saying, this is the monster you raised and couldn't even understand it. She had no idea that was her dad, that man she laid down with. That was his monster she had. I'm a living witness, y'all. I can testify to this mess. Women, you don't know what you brought forth. An elderly lady who been Jehovah's Witness for probably 50 years was like a second mother to me. And she used to always say, Booby, don't get detached to any man until you know what's going on in their family. Know their bloodline. Know their fathers and their mothers. Know who they are in their household. Because these babies come out like unto the father. I never believed that. Never did believe it, but I can still remember. She's dead now. Her and Alicia. But they used to tell me that all the time. They've been with the they probably was with the Jehovah's Witness way longer than that. Because Miss Almond, I think she died 97, 90 something years old. But that lady had so much wisdom. And she said it because a lot of people don't be careful, don't have no children by these men. Oh, she used to tell me that all the time. Nobody, my mother's had 5 children. I was the only one they dealt with. And she used to tell me, don't do it. It's because you don't know what this man is. You don't know who his father is and what's in his family. And she said that, and I never believed her. But when the spirit of the Most High broke that thing down, woo-wee, he taught me so much about it. That's why I said I can tell you something. I can tell you more than any man on this face of this earth can tell you. I'm telling it to you right here, showing you. I'm bringing you forth every verse in here that's in the instructions and direction book. Let's go to this last one we just said. Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 24. For he that spared his rod hate his son. You know why? Because he don't want to correct him. He don't want to discipline. He don't want to bring him up in the fear of Yah. He don't want to teach him righteousness. When it says train him up in the way, what is that way you said train him up? Called righteous. They don't want none of that. So what do? They hate his son. They leave no words there to correct him, to discipline, to chastise him. They train this child up in no way. And this is why he says, but he that loveth his son chasten him betimes, constantly getting him in order. When you love your son. But these men, they dropping them loads everywhere they can. And did you know, a lot of women don't know it, but they're going to meet it at the throne. Let me tell you why they're going to meet up with it at the throne. A lot of women don't even know a lot of these men have laid down with women and had babies and never knew that they had babies they left behind. A lot of them don't know. See, they're going around here dispersing the seeds everywhere they feel fit because they say they're a man. This is what makes them think that I'm a man. I got 8 kids over here and they bragging about it, just like that other guy, the other black guy who having all them babies by them women, and everybody make it think like it's cool. The men make it, oh, that's cool. Oh yeah, and he's a star. He's a whatever his name is. He's a little star. He's a fool. He's finding all women to have these babies back. He's dropping himself among all those children, all those women. And this is what men think that they're for, is to produce in a way of no responsibility, no liability. Y'all gonna catch you on the other side, bro. He coming for you, baby. Oh, yes, he gonna get you on the other side. So you better have a time of your life on this earth. Because the buck gonna stop right here. Everything I'm giving you, I can give you 100 verses that's telling you the buck gonna stop right here. So enjoy yourself. Okay. So that was in Proverbs 13 and verse 24. This is what women don't understand. A man can't love his children if he's not bringing any correction, if he's not training them up in the way of righteous, if he's not telling them about I am the Most High God. You know, that's righteous. They won't tell them nothing. They just have their sensation, drop it here, and keep it going. And many of them have turned to the rectum of man to drop sperms in. You see what I'm saying? They might as well say, men that have children, they're spreading their seeds all over, whether they know they had them or not. It's not important to y'all that you know that you know that you don't or that you do. You don't sit and lay down to get pleasure, wake up and not know that you didn't drop seed, or if you did or if you didn't. That's not the way the Father created it, even though you want to make it look like this is what this is really what a man is. This is what a man is. And it shows in that form no responsibility, no liability, and y'all call it no faith. You are worse than an infidel. And they can't even digest that. They won't even teach that to the men. No, they ain't gonna teach it to them. And they don't understand he means that. And that quality time is not spent. When you're laying down, you don't see him. When you wake up, you don't see him. When you're sitting around, you don't see him. When you're not walking in places and you're going for a walk, you don't have him. Responsibility, that's just what Yah is giving you these seeds to be responsible, especially to train them up in righteous. So when they get old, it won't depart. They will transfer it over to their sons and their sons and their sons. Because you didn't understand when he said, I will cause the fathers, the seeds of the father to return to the children, and the children return to the fathers. I'm going to show you how ignorant the men are. They so darn ignorant, they didn't realize what happened to the woman, what happened to the mother. The mother is the children. The grandmother is the children. We all came from a man. That's the children. They came out of the man. That's why you can't turn around and say, oh, she's a bitch, she's a whore, she's a harlot. Wait a minute. You got to understand. This is a seed that came out of the womb of a man. So whatever she is what he is. And that's, I ain't gonna say sad because he don't want me to keep saying that. Because too much truth and spirit and truth is in what I'm saying. And it can't be sad because it is the spirit in me that teaching me. He don't want me to even think it's sad. That spirit and truth is being brought to in the darkness. It's nothing sad about the light shining on darkness. That's what he said. So don't be sad about it. Proverbs 19. This is the last verse. Proverbs 19 and verse 18. Proverbs 19 and verse 18. Proverbs 19 and verse 18. And it reads, chasten thy son while there is hope. There you go again. And let not thy spirit spare for his crying. It's it's something how the Father. Let me just read that one more time. Proverbs 19 and verse 18. Chasten thy son while there is hope, and let not thy spirit spare for his crying. Men, I'm gonna say this. You can say anything you want about me. The Father has created me a lane to run in. And you say the same for yourself. I am called to bring light into that which is darkness, which were said in the last days. That which is in darkness shall come to light. Knowledge shall increase. And this knowledge that shall increase, and this light that's shining in darkness and bringing the darkness to light, it didn't have a male and a female on it. It has righteous and truth detached to it. So long they have taught it to be a male thing. And that's the same place you never understood your spiritual and natural position of a man. More so your natural, your flesh was to be a man. You were to learn what you were. Instead, you transfer it over to a bunch of men because that's the only way you can get your ego massage. You can get your pride rubbed from another man. And you forsaken the man that you were created from the throne itself. And these verses that I bring before you is from the throne. And when I say from the throne, it is light that he wants you to see in the midst of the darkness in which you've been walking all your life, in your father, and your father's father, and so on. To the point where many people, many males and many females have more horror stories due to the fact that the seed carrier wasn't where he should have been during the turmoil of their lives. And when you did have a seed carrier, he was the destroyer in the household because he felt that he had nobody to stop him from raping his son, from raping his daughter. This went on and on and on throughout thousands of years, even this day and time. millions and millions of people will tell you the story of what father, grandfather, great great grandfather, brother, uncle, friend, daddy's uncle, and what they have done to them. Men and women. They never made the house. They broke the house into pieces and shattered. And this is the life you see on the earth today. Is what men brought from their womb. These are the seeds you see. And they want you to think, no, these are the harlots. These are the women, and the women raising the men. No, no, no. You already raised them, baby. They came out of your learn. They came out of you, like unto you. They were the monsters you always had in you that you dropped over here and over there and over that and everywhere else. But I want to say this: Yah shall see you on the other side. The best bet I can say is to seek the face of Yah in a way that you have never. Salute him. Bring shame and disgrace. Humble yourself before him. And do not connect to the chain of men on this earth today that's teaching other men how to hate something that never hated them. Teaching murder, robbing, laziness, which Jacob said that Judah would be, slothful. That's why they don't want to work. They got away with so much, and that's why the women are left with the oppressors, which are their children. The men ain't left with them. The woman left with the men all over again in her household to raise her, and she looking at that baby breastfeeding, and she really got a whole arm of gold, baby. You got that man all over again. You might even have his daddy. And if you don't have them, you have your daddy also embedded in that the ways of your child. So you're trying to make something out of this child, and you can't because you have learned how to feel, to give and gave this child. You learned the key of giving and gave, and you feel you instill in something in what is yours, and it never was yours. It came out of him. And this is how women end up with the children. It's because the men left them. And when the system saw the men walk off away from all their children, they made the woman liable. That's how the women is by law eligible to keep the children. Because too many of the tribe of Judah walked out on their children. Y'all didn't know that, did you? I know they didn't tell you. They won't tell you the truth. Too many of them dropped left out on their children, was having their children all over the world. And they left them. And this country saw Judith walk away from all their children, not working and providing and doing for them. And you all can go on lie. Lie all you want. You go right ahead and lie. When you read into this instructions and direction that give you a clearer picture of yesterday and today and tomorrow, it gives you a clearer picture. It's a story. It's words to give you a clear understanding in your weak flesh to see. Ain't nobody done nothing to these men. They did it to themselves when they turned their back away from the throne who created them to be a man. And this is why you see a lot of Judith men in the closet, out of the closet, under the bed, and probably under the kitchen sink, having wives and still lusting after men. Y'all, this thing is deeper than what you can even imagine. That's why the spirit has taken them away so far away. It's because they saw them totally out of their heavenly creation of a man. And the spirit said, I got them now. So I, Sister Deborah, want the women to know. Stop beating yourself over the head. start reading these verses and understanding. And I think I'm gonna make a part two tomorrow so that you can see all the verses. And honestly, it's a lot of them, y'all. So that shows you that he would not have allowed enough word for us to study on this on this situation for it to be vain and vast to the point of it's all wrong. No, he backs it up with the ruach. He breaks it up and tear it down. So no man nor any woman could try to repair it in a way that it fits their family. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter of a two-parent home. I came up with my mother and daddy in the household. Mom and daddy, they probably would be 75 years in marriage if daddy was still alive. So I'm not the one you need to be talking to try to correct something. Sit your tail down and get somewhere and sit down and correct your tail before your eyes close. Because when you open it again, that judgment seat is going to be waiting there. And it ain't waiting there for you to justify, clarify, and identify what you didn't do, what you didn't know, and what somebody done to you. It's to tell you you weren't worth a dime from the beginning. And anytime it tells you you have denied the faith when you have denied your children and you haven't did what you're supposed to do, that's deeper than deep. I can't say no more than that. Shalom and shalom. I hope you get something out of it.